Really quickly, let me just apologize for any background noise that you might hear. It's really hot in my apartment, and I have my air conditioner on, so you're going to hear that in the background. Forgive me for that if you could. So this is definitely a bit different from my usual videos. Besides that live stream where I got a little bit heated, reacting to the onslaught of anti-communist sentiment on one of my videos from late last year, I haven't really made any videos, responding to a specific person or anything like that in a long time. And I'm sure I'm not the first to make a video like this, but I just wanted to kind of add my thoughts and just take a look at this and take the long shot of maybe, just maybe, convincing the person that this video is about to expand their political worldview. So, who is Ray Cyp? For the uninitiated, Ray Cyp is an elderly man who has become moderately famous online for his video recreations of memes as well as videos with his own brand of absurdity. From classics such as Do the Roar, his abridged version of Filthy Frank's video about weeaboos, and the Markiplier E meme, as well as several others.
Markiplier E?
Ray Cyp has basically made a career on YouTube and other platforms like Instagram just being a fun, silly old man. And let me just say, before I really go in depth as to what this whole thing is about, I am a fan of Ray Cyp. I'm one of those people who just loves absolute dumb shit in his comedy and often adheres to the stupid or loud equals funny principle, at least for things like memes and like YTPs, And as I said, I also really like to watch YTP, so that definitely makes sense. But, ever since the 2016 election of Donald Trump, Ray Cyp, while not completely, of course, doing away with his more comedic, meme-inspired videos at all, has also taken a drastic shift in his content. See, Ray Cyp is what we call a never-Trumper. Which, to be fair, in a sense, I'm sure the majority of us, at least who are, center to center-left, maybe not center, knowing those guys, but center-left and farther are also in favor of never having Donald Trump be president again. But Ray's whole thing with this is sort of, how do I say this, unprincipled, to say the least. As a firm believer of Orange Man bad, Ray has dedicated a significant portion of his content, especially in the modern day, to rebuking Donald Trump and, by extension, the Republican Party. There's nothing wrong with this inherently, and at least a small handful of Ray's videos about politics do have more depth than just Trump is bad, even if there are some problems with them.
He destroyed the treaty with Iran, so he unleashed Iran. I mean, they're crazy people over there, and he pissed them off.
But there are two problems that come to mind, that come of his switch to more political content. One is that a selection of his online content has become excessively repetitive. And you could argue that Ray's content in and of itself is repetitive given the nature of it, but this is particularly egregious with his political content. Though there are other bits where he speaks against specific actions of Donald Trump and the Republican Party, it seems like a majority of these videos are just Ray on camera with a green screen effect or a face filter from like Snapchat or some other app. Like, I don't know what other ones there are, I can't think of that. But they're just him using some app or having a green screen behind him just saying, Trump is going to prison.
Trump is going to prison. Trump is going to prison. Donald Trump is going to prison.
In fact, if you go on Ray's channel, Trump is going to prison is literally the description of his YouTube channel. I'm not kidding you. I'll put up a screenshot or something. If it's not him saying this phrase, it's just him speaking negatively about the Republican Party, but only through incredibly brief sound bites. There's no real major analytical substance to his videos, even in just small doses. I'm not asking anybody, I'm not saying that Ray needs to start doing like 20-minute video essays, I don't even know if like he's a 70-something-year-old man. He shouldn't have to put in all that kind of effort, but still, maybe just say something besides, Trump is bad because X. He's bad, yeah, we know, and X is right, but if that's all you're saying, he's not even like really using sources a lot of the time. He'll have like one headline in his green screen sometimes, but that's really about it. He never links anything. He never cites any like real specific studies. It's always just kind of face value stuff. And let me reiterate, he's not wrong to do so in saying, Trump is bad, the Republican Party is bad. It's just that he's using the same criticisms that you would see on like CNN, NBC, and your standard, centrist liberal media. None of his critiques have any real nuance to them or go deeper than Republicans want to take your rights, January 6th, and, the like. Ray has also stated that he's been attacked and had issues in his personal life as a result of his fiercely anti-Trump beliefs. But other than the negative comments that he receives on his anti-Republican videos, I haven't really seen any indication that he's had, like, money issues or anything like that as a result of his politics. Though to be fair to him, we don't see everything behind the scenes of his iPhone, and he does live in Florida, so with a political climate fostered by the likes of Ron DeSantis and Marco Rubio, I wouldn't exactly be shocked if such things have happened to Ray. So I'm not denying it. It's definitely possible, but I haven't seen anything beyond, rude comments on YouTube. The second big problem, though, with how Ray approaches his political, content as a whole, in acting as one of those never-Trumpers, Ray has basically forgotten how to criticize the other side. He has not given any actual criticism to Joe Biden and the Democratic Party. Ray has basically forgotten how to, do all that kind of stuff. While criticizing people for becoming sycophants for the leader of the MAGA movement, Ray Cyp has himself basically become a sycophant for Joe Biden and the Democrats. He's made multiple videos where he calls Biden the best president ever.
Joe Biden, the best president ever. Jobs, the economy, cutting inflation, student debt relief, roads, bridges, prescription drug prices. Greatest ever.
And especially over the last couple of months, he's been pushing for people to vote for Biden for the sole purpose of defeating Trump. He's completely ignored that there are several policies from Trump's presidency that Biden has maintained, particularly revolving around immigration and foreign policy. He said nothing about his disastrous performance in the presidential debate, and he's completely ignored Biden's compliance with, funding, and arming of the genocide that's being carried out against the people of Palestine. I've actually commented on a handful of Ray's videos that are super pro-Biden, asking him about why Joe Biden is funding genocide, and as expected, I've never gotten a response. Ray Cyp has essentially become one of those blue MAGA people with his extreme loyalty to Joe Biden. He's vehemently defending Biden with the same energy that people in the original MAGA movement have defended Trump. Also, something that I forgot to mention before, Ray is also one of those people who have like an extreme hatred for Russia carried over from the Cold War. Ray even still uses the tropes of like Russians being stoic communists, despite the Communist Party not even being in power in Russia since 1991. If you're going to critique Russia as it is today at all, Ray, and anybody really, this applies to everybody who wants to try to critique the government, please try to at least have these criticisms be relevant to the current decade. Calling Vladimir Putin a communist is just factually incorrect. I made a whole video about that back in like 2019. It's a long shot that he'll respond to this or even see this, but Ray, please broaden your understanding of politics, man. As a fan of yours, I implore you to try to look past the two-party dichotomy, to try to see that when you really boil things down, outside of the more superficial differences with social policy, the two major parties in the US ultimately serve the same interests, the interests of the rich, the capitalists. Whatever concessions that the Republicans or the Democrats give the working people are only designed as a means of appeasing them just enough to not do anything meaningful to really challenge the status quo and push voting every 4 years as the only viable way to achieve any kind of political change. Read some news from places besides like CNN and NBC, Ray. Read some books. Read some analytical pieces from some independent outlets. Watch, just find different forms of media. Please realize that propping up Biden as the only viable option to defeat Trump is doing more harm than good given the last couple of years, and especially the last handful of months. He needs to drop out and let somebody else run if you actually want to defeat Trump. Especially since Trump's about to be galvanized, or is actually being galvanized now, as a hero for narrowly avoiding getting his head blown off. It helped Ronald Reagan get elected, and it's gonna help Trump. My name is Jymee. Thank you for watching. Free Palestine.